Well, howdy everybody, welcome to another edition of That's Railroad, where we bring the railroad to you. We love doing it too. Okay, we're going to talk about track safety and how we communicate with the train. I've got a bunch of questions over the years on how we communicate with the train. How do we keep from getting hit? How do we keep the train safe out here? And so we're going to go over that today. All right, we don't have a signaling system here. Everything's pretty much verbal communication, but it works really well. And we have almost zero problems. Okay, and that's good because my safety is important out here on the track. Because if something gets run over, me or the train, guess what? I'm going to lose. All right. Okay, we'll be back. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Okay, well, once the operator does his pre-shift on the locomotive and the pre-op or op, whatever you want to call it, he'll walk around, he'll check all the brakes, shoes on each wheel, and make sure they're thick enough, they don't need changed. If one needs changed, it'll get changed up here at the sand tower when they fuel it the next time. When the locomotive's down, when they're running cold, they don't have time to...
You're getting on behind me, Mr. Dave.
Hold on. That's a Roger. You'll have a red track behind you.
10-4, red track behind me, main trip, leaving the harbor.
Okay. I was telling you, he does his pre-op, and he'll check the oil in this engine and the water. All right. Obviously, look, listen for any air leaks or any drips or anything like that looking around. Okay. So once he gets his pre-op, then he'll call me, see if he has a green track. And once I give him a green track, then he's clear to leave for the mine. Now, you heard me, I gave him a red track behind him. That means I've got a track warrant. It's not a written warrant. We don't have written warrants here. Many railroads do have written track warrants. But wherever he goes out the track, he is not allowed to reverse directions or come into I own the track behind him, no matter how far he goes. But if he goes up to the mine, I own the track all the way to the prep plant. And until, I would give him clearance if something happens out there. We're doing a roll-by inspection, by the way. And there's another guy watching on the other side up here at the locomotive shop. So never have enough eyes on the railroad. These cars get a roll-by inspection a lot. They're old. Cars are old. So where was I at? Yeah, once he goes to the mine, he's up there and loading, then he's not allowed to leave up there unless and until he makes positive communication with me and I give him a green track. Okay? And we do that over the radio. Sometimes we do it over cell phone too. Sometimes, but it has to be a positive identification. When I give a command, as you heard, he's required to repeat that command. Such as I give him a red track behind him, then he repeated that back, red track behind him. So the communication system we have here works very well. Everybody understands. It's vital. that we communicate. Another thing, if he goes out the track and let's say he has a flat tire and he has to stop the train. Yeah, so when you guys picked up on that, a flat tire. But I mean, sometimes you lose a coupler, and we have very few problems with losing couplers. But you know, the two locomotives may lose signal for whatever reason. If he has to stop main line and he knows I'm going behind him, he's required to call me along with the office. We have a guy in the office with not really a dispatcher, but okay. Everything looks good there on the hillside, Mr. AJ. Have a good trip. Okay.
Thank you, Dad.
But yeah, I got to get on track here. So, but if he stops out there in the main line for any reason, he is required to call me and to call into the office to the shift foreman to notify them that there's a train stopped on the main line. And that's just like every railroad out there has that. That's because
all looks good, AJ.
Okay, there's your
10-4, thank you, bro.
roll by inspection on the other side. Okay, we'll be back with more. I got to get on track. All right. Okay, we're heading out today, and we made our verbal communication with the train. We're going to do a track inspection. I'm required. Morning. I'm required to do a track inspection. We have Class 2 track here. The track speed is 25 miles an hour, and I'm required to do a weekly track inspection. Here's one thing that I will do. We're going to sign here, and it's going to take me 2 hands to put it out. But anyway, I'll be got to get out here and set this out. So I'll be right back. Okay, I set this sign out, and then we've got a strobe light up here. So anybody coming out this point for whatever reason knows there's somebody on track. Also, the guys back here in the harbor can know that there's somebody on track, which we have so few guys that everybody pretty much knows what everybody else is doing. I don't know if you can see. You probably can't, and I can't zoom in, but on that big building on the right, there's a light, a white light, and then behind it is another light. When this switch is thrown for the diverging track, that other light flashes yellow. So if a train's coming in over here on the other side of the bridge, coming in over there, then he can look up and see that light and know this switch is thrown for the wrong position. Okay? So other than that, that light is green. It's green right now, and I know you can't see that. But part of my track inspection, well, before I put that sign out, I went out here and did a walk this turnout. I'm required to walk the turnouts on a track inspection. You can ride over them, but you're still required to walk them. Okay. I love to ride track. Come in a bad mood or something going on, and you just don't feel right. You get out here on track, you always feel better. But yeah, another reason we do have some car doors come open now and then. We have some bearings go bad. If a bearing goes bad, then the hot wheel detector sets it off. Then everybody is all hands on deck, get up there to the milepost 8 to help switch that car out. But everybody realizes the train will be stopped. If we have a bad bearing and he stops somewhere else, and here again he's required to call, and they call for help. backup. There's always a mechanic on shift and a shift foreman at the very minimum. So those guys will go up and help out. They'll walk the trip, whatever, to find out what might be the problem. And so, again, our communication system is pretty simple. It's not hard to understand. I have track now. This train cannot, he's going to the mine, he'll load. He is not allowed to leave until he makes positive identification with me on the radio or on cell phone that I am clear of the track. And I have to be clear before he is allowed to leave either the mine or the prep plant. All right? Once in a while, if they're running really good coal, say I'm coming into the harbor and I'll be a mile or so out and he's wanting to leave up there, I'll give him a clearance to, I'll give him a green track to a certain mile post or a certain bridge, and then a red block will be on the other side of that. So, and if we're running two trains, then I went over that in a separate video, how they work that at the mine. But if they're coming back, then say one train's down here dumping and the other one's coming back, then he has orders to stop out here at milepost 15.5 at the Robina Hard Road crossing. Okay, we'll be back with more. Oh, I wanted to tell you, you know, I show videos of bearings going bad or car doors coming open and mud spots in the track, and people kind of like to watch disasters. But all in all,
Hello, AJ. Hello, AJ.
all in all, we run trains pretty much.
Hello, bro.
Hold on.
Hey, AJ, you're going to have a red track down here if you unload them for a while, okay?
Okay, that's the
Bro, red track if you unload.
that's the harbor mechanic. He must have something going on down there he's got to fix or work on. But anyway, yeah, we run trains pretty much 6 round trips per 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Main trip, chicken farm.
There's another thing, the train is required to call at certain points. I'm getting in too many directions here at the one time. Okay. The chicken farm is milepost 8, where we have our Hot Wheel detector. But yeah, I show and everybody thinks, well, we got this really bad track, or we got this really bad cars, and you know, but you consider 38 cars for they run 15.5 miles or so track, plus the track on the ends when they're loading or unloading. For all the number of times those wheels turn around and the amount of train traffic that we have, they run coal really good and have been running coal really, really good here since this big longwall move we had shut down. But actually, I think the percentage of things that go bad is very, very small. We have a almost minuscule problem with couplers falling out or knuckles breaking. That's very rare that ever happens. So I think we've got a pretty good record actually. Things do pretty well in comparison. So you see one or a couple videos where the car's dumped out, well, you know, you think, well, this is just a really bad operation. Well, it's not.
Cumberland Hot Wheel Detector, milepost 8.0. No defects.
I think all in all, it's a very safe operation. The company here that we have is dedicated to safety, and all the guys are too. I mean, everybody wants to go home in one piece, and you know, safe.
Hot wheel detector. Final post 8.0. No defects.
So that's, I mean, we run a lot of coal here. We're gonna probably hit close to 6 million ton again this year, and that's around 6.5 million gross tons of traffic over our rail. That's gross tons is not only the coal but the weight of the trains and that many trips. So you can figure. Okay, well, on a good day we load 35,000 tons of coal in barges, and that's a lot of coal per day. All right, but you can figure it out if you run 6 trips. Each car, we have 38 cars on the main trip, and there's about 115 tons of coal in each car. So you can figure out we're real close to the amount of tonnage that we get. Another thing I wanted to say, yeah, we have some mud spots out here. We have problems. All railroads have problems. I don't care what railroad they are, they have problems. Some less than others. We have a lot of problems with mud. Mud's our biggest thing. But it's very... This was really cool because 2 months ago we had a ultrasonic rail testers come in, ENSCO, and they rode our track and found 0 defects. Here this past year we've gone on a pretty good intensive rail changing program, changed a lot of sticks of rail that were questionable. We did a very good job in changing that. When the results showed up, 0 internal defects, and that was really heartwarming. And the same day they came in, we had down track. They weren't running a train. They also did a track geometry report, and the guy that did the track geometry report told me, he said, Dave, he says, this is one of the best jointed tracks they have ever tested. And you know what, that made me feel pretty doggone good. Yeah, so that's and that's pretty cool. Yeah, we had a couple bad spots, spots that they weren't out of FRA specs, but you know, all in all, we got a pretty doggone good track. And we got a lot of rock in here. We got a shutdown coming up, and we're gonna spread this rock here because this is all going to get tamped. We have Amtrak of Maryland coming in again. I've made some videos on that. Amtrak in here before they'll be coming in, so that's why you see rock in here. Typically it would be broomed out because it's really hard to make a good track inspection when you got all that rock in there. All right. Plus, I think anything else, I'm gonna get off of here. Said I did make another video. Well, I told you that already. Okay, if I think of something else, I'll patch it in, but if not, thank you very much for watching. And always, if you have any questions, write in the comments. We'll try to clear things up. Also, if I remember something, be sure you read the video description, because I may forget something, and I usually remember it and write it in the description. The description's part of the video. Okay, thank you again. You guys, happy rails to you until we meet again, my friends. That's railroading. I love this job. This is a great company to work for. I can't wait to come to work, actually, most days.